Alright, I'm gonna get this going because I already know that pretty much all of them are in the server, so thank you to one of the latest NS2 patches. I can actually alt-tab while, and start the stream so that I can actually do stuff while loading here. Just obviously haven't had a chance to turn off my sounds real quick, so I will do that right now. And then in 3 minutes from now you will hear a beep, and then I will make it not make beep noises. Huzzah! Anyway, hello! You're all here to see a week... I believe this is week 6, I think is what my overlay says. It's a week 6 match between Lucky Fkers and Diamond Gaming. So we got everybody joining up here at the moment. We have pretty much everyone in the server already, I think, too. If not, it's really close. This is a Div 3 match. It's obviously, since it's week 7, I don't remember if there are other ones that were today, but week 7, it's Kodiak and Vale. Since we'll be starting on Kodiak, if you aren't that familiar with the map, I'll mouse over here to the blackness so you can take a quick look at it. It is kind of a weird map. It has some really perplexing vents, and it's just not played that much, so I think that's part of the reason why it seems just so confusing. There are a lot of areas that are pretty alien-friendly, like over here in the biosphere area. Heck, this whole middle section of the map can at times be pretty alien-favored, especially if you're going Shade Hive and you have Aura, and you can just, have your lurk spiking through trees, basically, assuming they're not hitting, a branch. But, other than that, I mean, there's a lot of nice little narrow hallways as well, so... it's just an interesting map that probably just needs more play to be able to see what it's actually going to end up with in the end. Since there haven't been premier matches on it yet, obviously, we can't just use them as the sort of measuring stick for it. Though I know that they have scrimmed on them at least a few times, I would imagine. Hope everybody is having a good evening. This is obviously 2 North American teams that are going to be facing off here. For Diamond Gamers, since they have everybody in on their team at the moment, we're going to go through the roster here. We have Tagwolf, Zaki, Boone, Varg, Heidi, and Nox. And then for Lucky Fkers, we've got Billy Talent, Hackers, Pronos, Rich, Miram, and Stack Daddy. Okay, so they have everybody in here now too. So I think they swapped out a couple people from when I, joined up the server, 3 minutes ago or whatever. Looks like we're going to be going live here in a moment as far as the stream, so you guys will hear those shenanigans very soon. I think this is the last match of the weekend, which, is pretty obvious. I mean, we're getting kind of late even for North American teams. I think there are going to be a couple matches during the week, which I believe are already on the schedule, so we need to figure out casters for those and get those all scheduled up and good to go. I'll have to take a look and see what ones, but I don't want to alt-tab and, do whatever. As you can tell, if you weren't paying attention, there was a, NS2 Plus NS2 Plus change recently, where now commanders have yellow background instead of yellow text. So you can see if you end up with a rookie commander. But obviously at the moment, all these people have played quite a few hours, so we aren't going to deal with any rookies here, quite obviously. But, for those of you who end up rampaging around in pubs later, keep an eye out for that. No idea if that'll end. Oh, never mind. We have one extra person on here. Who was Powder Monkey? We have one extra person here. So hopefully they'll work that out as soon as possible, because obviously there are 7 people from the team in here, and we only need 6. We'll give them a moment though. They don't have any comm at the moment either. So we'll just pan around a little bit. I mean, you can see that there's a few not moving at this particular instant, and we'll see if they're going to swap somebody out there or what's going on. Alright, so that person has left, so the current roster for LF is going to be Powder Monkey, Stack Daddy, Billy Talent, Hackers, Pronos, and Rich. Now that they are done scrambling those. Already, whenever you guys are. Okay. My amazing typing there. So I hope that the games earlier today were all pretty good. I didn't get to watch any of them early because pretty much all of them were during class. I do have a weekend class, which obviously means that I didn't get to help out casting any of those games that did not have casters, which was somewhat obnoxious. Let me check one thing here real quick. All right. No treble, no snare. Oh gosh. Anyway, so we're just waiting for these guys to grab a comm for Lucky Fuckers at this point, and then we should be getting rolling here pretty soon, I would imagine. I have no idea what we're going to see out of these teams, just because, well, it's Kodiak, and it is not a map that people are particularly familiar with. As I mentioned, oops, hitting the wrong button here. As I mentioned, let me make sure I'm in the right room. This whole section of the map down the center is pretty alien favored. I mean, there's all kinds of cover for them to hide behind that isn't even necessarily a wall. So, a lurk, you can see through there. There's, just leaves. And you could go sniping away at people on the far side of the room, hallway, whatever you want to call it, because it has a roof, but it's kind of also outside. I guess it is, what, biosphere? Okay, whatever. Let's see, what was I going to say about this room? Oh, yes, I was going to be zooming all along over here to this lovely hallway, which is server bank, which I'm curious to see whether we see any shenanigans going on here. From my own experience, I know that this is a really obnoxious hallway that is kind of highly important because, it's this giant shooting gallery, and that goes to the command hive, and that one goes, to one of their naturals. Getting a Marine in there is pretty much the most obnoxious thing if you're the alien comp, because guess what? They're gonna just cut the sys chain here, and it's a shooting gallery, so they're hard to get out of there too. You can use the vents to get around, as you can see, looking at the map. There's a whole bunch of vents and stuff in the area. So I hit the right button here to get back into the top down. There's a whole bunch of vents in that area too, so you can get around to be able to flank that, but if you get one Marine in there who's a really good shot, it's going to cause some issues. And we'll have to see if that happens. Looks like we're going to be moving into round 1 here in 10 seconds, so let's see how this ends up going. So round 1 of Diamond Gamers versus Lucky Fuckers here on Kodiak. Alright, looks same spawn as pregame over here in command, that room. So they're all getting out of here. It looks like Hackers is going to be calming for them. Nothing too adventurous so far. Looks like we're seeing an arm slab dropped in a corner over there, so they're not even going to go for mines, which is, I don't know, that may or may not be something that you want to do on this map just because people are so unfamiliar with it. You don't know, if you aren't exactly 100% sure where to lane block in this, it could end up being a very bad choice to not have those mines there to allow people to run back and, save stuff if the skulks manage to sneak on through. You can see the just tags down here with Pronos. Gets a little bit of chip on him, nothing too exciting. The skulks are just kind of waiting at the RTs to see what's happening there. Rich obviously had hit around a corner, but wasn't set up well enough to be able to take down Boone. But Powder Monkey was able to come in from elsewhere, I think a little bit of north of there, and take him down as well. Up here in observation, sort of. Seeing Varg get taken down by Billy Talent, and he's going to go after Zaki, but get taken down by him since there wasn't really much health left on that skulk. Stack Daddy's waiting in this vent here. It is kind of a fun little vent, which doesn't seem to be visible from top down. And he just pops out there and takes down Zaki. So Boone's moved on back up there to try and take over in observation, because that is a kind of an important natural. It isn't too, or not natural, but next RT. It isn't too far from anything. Looks like Powder Monkey just took down someone down here. It looks like it was Varg that was in water production. Is going to work on that RT. Meanwhile, the rest of the skulks have all kind of grouped up, sort of in the middle of the map, but it looks like they aren't really. Billy Talent's just hiding in rocks. And hey, look, we're seeing Heidi? I don't exactly 100% know, but either way, he's like wandering around over here, sniping those cysts and being rather obnoxious. So we're seeing Tagwolf there alone now. He got abandoned by his Marine buddy, and he's going to be able to maybe take down both these skulks. He does get meted. Pernos there with very little health, and he does end up getting cleared by Tag. Powder Monkey and Stack Daddy are going to have to go after Heidi, and let's see, we got Stack Daddy's going to go through the vent and try and flank, but that cis chain has been cut. That is, as I said, basically the main problem with that hallway. It is crazily important. You're seeing some RTs blinking and dying all over the place here, but just from that hive, it's just terrible to try and be able to cap that natural. And you can see that down there in Southern Biosphere, that's also blinking, so looks like there may be. Okay, they are going to finally clear him out of there. Rotating right along here to surface access, that will be probably the, it would be one potential place for them to expand to get their second hive for Lucky Fuckers, assuming they're able to actually lock it down. But with the fact that they now have the cis chain reconnected up into, is it hydroanalysis? Hydroponics? Hydroponics. I knew it was hydro something. Anyway, with that reconnected there, except for, guess what? Now we got Varg in that hallway, and it looks like we're going to see a pause here, so I'm not quite sure why. We'll take a look here in a moment. But let's check the status of this game. We got Varg. Oh, Tag Wolf apparently froze. So we'll be waiting for him to reconnect, I would assume. Is he dead at the moment? Okay, he's dead. So we can't even figure out where he was stuck. But here we have that stupid hallway again. Again, you can see, nice long hallway for them to shoot down. With the addition of the shade here, that'll also help because it'll hide some of the cysts, but it looks like we're going to have weapons. One will be completed very soon here. But with that cis chain repeatedly getting cut, that's going to make it really hard for them to, expand up to here. But guess what? We got Boone and... is that a dead Marine? That appears to be a dead Marine that is just like collapsed there. So I'm assuming that's either Zachy or Tag. It just looks kind of bizarre from the top down. Anyway, they ended up, they're going to be, looks like capping over here in, what is this, Hangar Bay. I apologize. I'm still not 100% sure on the room names of all this stuff. It's just like that room over there kind of thing. But anyway, obviously if they're going to have Marines setting up camp in Hangar Bay, that's going to make it a lot harder for the aliens to be able to go through and expand towards the north. That is the main problem with this hive, is that you keep losing that natural. I mean, if you'd sent somebody running in there at the, basically game start to harass that cis chain, that'll totally slow down the alien res. And basically, I think of it as like the jerk hallway. You're just going to go and stand in there and be a jerk, and, the comm will have to come out, jump out of the hive and try and clear you. Oh, hey, I love that. If you mouse away from a ragdoll or something and mouse back, it'll do the animation over again. So obviously that just got cleared down here in surface access. You can see the remaining Skulk Pronos heading up towards, what is that, water production. And so it looks like they're going to have to just sit in here and try and take this southern half of the map. It isn't too far from Marine Start, of course, though, so it's not exactly the ideal one, but so it goes. And it looks like Tag Wolf now is unfrozen or back, some combination thereof. So it looks like we're pretty much ready to go here whenever LF unpauses as well. Of course, with the fact that they also did go... was it Shift Hive also? That, yes, it gives the Skulk speed, but this is a map that, maybe it is worth considering just going Shade first, because not only are you have the advantage from the fact that the Marines don't have, basically they're just not used to the map in general, so you can get a lot of nice kills by sneaking around, but you can also deal with the fact that then you have, you have aura. You can snipe them as a lurk, which will be coming up very soon here. You could look at the... See, it's at 21 res, so they'll probably have... I don't know which one of these guys is going to end up being a lurk, but they should be turning into a lurk here momentarily, I would imagine. Taking a look at the res graph, since we're also sitting here paused, you can see that they've had to put a reasonable amount of pressure there on the RTs, but at the moment, it's early enough that anything could change. Looks like Billy Talent's going to take down that one there in Northern Biosphere, I believe that is. And then he might have to loop around and try and take out Varg, along with Powder Monkey. They're just going to have... they're going to have to do something about this. Because all that infestation is going to get cleared, and he's just, as I said, he's just sitting there using the jerk hallway. We have a little bit of pressure into base. That was Rich and Pronos going in there. Pronos was able to take down one of the Marines, but he can't re-engage onto Zaki because obviously he has very low health. And though there are a lot of nice things in this room to sort of jump around, Zaki just need to land one bullet. Alright, Stack Daddy is up as at least one of the lurks. I'm not sure if they're going to be running with one or two, but I mean, two would be ideal, especially since there's so much of an advantage here with the lurks, just being able to shoot down these really crazy hallways. Stack Daddy's going in on that with Skulk's a little bit farther behind, but none of the shots there from Varg were able to land on him necessarily. Oh, the little crag there! It's not going to make it! The poor crag, it lived a very short life. So the infestation's been cleared out of hydroponics, and the whole Skulk pack has rotated north to try and secure things over here. Meanwhile, Zaki has discovered the sys chain that was poking into surface access and is working on that. So at this point, they're going to try and resist that, and obviously they're building a crag as well to try and help with the fact that Marines can just walk into that stupid hallway and be jerks. Stack Daddy moving over there, trying to deal with Zaki, landing a couple bites, but it looks like he's going to try and get out of there before anything stupid happens. Billy Talent coming in as well. He doesn't check his corner there and is getting shot at. He's actually going to get pinched a little bit. But he actually is able to clear out Zaki and then will hopefully get out of there without getting sniped. The scan there obviously told him exactly where it was, but Tagwolf's right there in Southern Biosphere, but he doesn't land quite enough bullets to be able to take down Billy Talent. Stack Daddy's actually rotating in from the northern part of the room there, and he's going to come in, get a nice bite on Tag, but not able to quite chain them the way that would be necessary. But Tag's down to his pistol, so really it's just a matter of time here. Just a couple of spikes and Tag is down. Now it's into Heidi. Heidi? Somebody tell me how to say that person's name. I feel bad. Alright. Back up into the really crazy high top view. Alright, we're seeing two Marines moving on into hydroponics again. This Drifter, poor abandoned Drifter got left there, and it gets taken down. The Shade looks like it maybe got scanned away or just shot at a little bit. Either way, Stack Daddy's in there all by himself. There is the crag, so that helps out a little bit, but at this point it looks like Boone is working on powering down the crag, so that way that'll cause an issue there. The poor Shade is going into the ceiling because I don't know how, but it did there for a moment. I guess it somehow got stuck on the doorway, and it's at 3% health. The poor crag. Poor crag. Anyway, Tag's working again down there in Southern Biosphere, trying to desist that. Pronos, it looks like, just took out the RT that was over there, and he's going to have to move in there to try and help with that sys chain. They have enough res now for a second hive, so they really need to just be able to secure something. Maybe they need to put like a whip right in the doorway here to sort of alert them of that, hey, somebody's coming through here and they're being annoying, so come and clear them now. The Shade still has 3% health. Meanwhile, we've got Billy Talent up here with Boone. Getting the third it's only the second biomass right now, so they aren't really up to this. I take it back, they aren't really up to, the time to get the second hive. Though it would be ideal if they could just, put the hive in hangar bay, because then they don't have to worry about the sys chain. They don't have to worry about that stupid hallway, because, well, they have another hive, so the sys still just come from the other side. We're seeing this huge engagement up here in Upper Rapids, and the aliens end up clearing that, no problem. I think they lost one skulk in that. So all things considered, not too bad. However, they lost the RT down here in Southern Biosphere. That's actually the first one that Lucky Fuckers have lost, so it's not too bad. And we're seeing a little bit of pressure into base here. It looks like Com jumped out of the chair there. He has basically no health at this point. Or at least I think he did. Or is he trapped in there? He might be trapped in the chair. I'm kind of confused there. Oh, shenanigans. How dare they happen. Varg, meanwhile, has cleared up the infestation, and thus the poor Shade has met its demise at last. Pronos moving in. Here come the lurks as well. Stack Daddy and Billy Talent also trying to clear him out. And yet again, that becomes a problem. Some marine capping going on down here at surface access. And just a little bit of shooting there. Powder Monkey hasn't landed the parasite yet, which is unfortunate for him because it would make this whole thing a lot easier, especially because he could sneak around, go through there, or he could have Rich going through there, going through Tunnel B5, I believe it is, and flank from that end. At this point, Stack Daddy is pretty hurt, so he probably just, he's going to go into a vent and just kind of sit there. And just this, it's like wasting time and ammo, which is, pretty good for Lucky Fuckers at this point. But Diamond Gamers just needs to, they're sitting at 6 RTs. They have been sitting at, 4-ish for a huge chunk of the game, which is great for them. I mean, they can just tech up and not care. They do have the obs now, so if there's another, base rush or anything like that, that's no problem. They probably are gonna, after they get this done, shotguns or phase tech will probably be next on the list for them. They need to be. I mean, they're keeping Lucky Fuckers on just kind of this obnoxious, state where they could just clear it in the end and just end the game. And Stack Daddy sticks around way too long there and does end up going down. There was an engagement going on up here in Hangar as well. I think there was, two Marines dancing around here with a lurk and a fades, because the fades are up, or at least fade at this point. We'll see if there's a second that will reappear. That would be Pronos up as the current fade. Stack Daddy was moving in all by himself there, but, well, nothing at the moment. Saying something about 1,000 people viewing NS2 streams, but I'm the only one. I have no idea, dude. I have no idea. Meanwhile, Tag Wolf was in here by himself, and so that was a nice little, jaunt out of the vent there from Billy Talent to just, fly on out and just bite Tag's face off there as the lurk. Pronos just went down here, it looks like, so looking at the wrong engagement there, they still have Powder Monkey up as the second fade, so the first one there was not particularly long-lived. But as long as they're able to keep the remaining lurk, the remaining fade, they might be okay. They really just need to, just annihilate the rest. Look at this, they got 3 RTs capped in basically the same, 10 seconds. So they're up to 6 again. There have been 12 RTs taken out, so they're doing some good res pressure. The problem is they aren't able to hold it, and I think it is because of that stupid hallway. LF is now down to, 2 res in the bank for the team. They've assisted across the top half of the map. The sys chain is disconnected, courtesy of Boone, who is just chilling out here in hydroponics. He's just like, yeah, sup, cut your sys chain, gonna kill your Crag, and that'll make that whole stuff around the top half of the map just totally useless. And there's the phase gate. They're gonna get phase gate right outside the hive, right there in southern biosphere. I mean, the other place that might be... Oh, who's in there? Oh, it's just Pronos by himself. He is pretty chipped as well, so Nox is going to jump out of the chair and clean him up. Nox still also has really low health, so that'll be easy if somebody goes in there and is able to, bait Nox out of the chair to just, pounce on him and kill him. Looks like the base gate is not up, though, so if they get cleared here, which they aren't at this point, Powder Monkey's just really backing up. I'm not entirely sure why, so because, well, there was still the skulk there. He still had energy, and he still had most of his health. So, perhaps questionable there, but we're seeing both life forms moving on into the base, and it looks like the base gate is now up. They're going to go after Boone, and the people from the phase gate are going to phase back through. Billy Talent gets out with about 12% health, I think that said. So with that phase gate there, that'll lock down the sort of southwestern side of the map, I suppose. And that may help them, go through and just lock down the north half. But here's the problem. They got Tagwolf and Zaki, both with shotguns. Moving on here, in here, we got Boone in the server bank yet again, being the jerk, cutting the sys chain, and preventing them from being able to expand to the north. I mean, it's just like you have to be able to try and lock down these stupid hallways. It's one way or another, whether it be with maybe a gorge would have been the other smart way to do things. Put a gorge tunnel up to Hangar Bay, maybe either on the RT or on, some place where you can be able to flank easily and just take and mess with the north half of the map, not have to care that there are Marines wandering around and cutting the sys chain here. But, because you can see, they're going to work on killing the Crag, they're going to kill the Harvester, and then that'll be even more res down. You can see that they've taken the armor off of some of these RTs, but they're still there. Fade moving in with the one lurk there. So Billy Talent's still up his lurk, and Stack Daddy looks like he re-lurked. I think. No, or was he? Yeah, he re-lurked. So Rich is slowly coming up on Onos res here. He's up to 46. Obviously has to get to 55, but at this point they're still at 2 RTs because that one up there in hydroponics hasn't keeled over dead yet. Trying to figure out which vent Stack Daddy's in here. It looks like there's one. I actually don't know where that vent is, but it looks like Varg found him. Aw, poor Stack Daddy. Aha, he climbed on the forklift. Okay. So that wasn't exactly the best vent to hide in. I'm not sure where the other end comes out, but it might have been a good idea to try and get somewhere else into that vent. He was probably doomed anyway, but we still got this phase gate here too. So Billy Town's hiding up on a rock, I think, over there. They got him scanned down. Powder Monkey moving in on Boone. Boone escaping with basically no health. And just overall, it's going to end up being a slow demise for these poor aliens. Because at this point, just that early harassment, taking a look at the res graph, you could see that for a while, that'd be time. Yep, seeing stuff blinking. Looks like it's just Pronos getting some parasites. But you can see, so we move this so you can see the fight. Billy Talent does go down there. I mean, he's facing an LMG and a shotgun, and they're walking into the hive because, well, it's right outside. But, you know, taking a look at the res graph, I mean, the 3 RTs that they had up for some of the time was basically, you know, like either hydro or surface access, and just they weren't able to do much beyond that. They weren't able to lock down much beyond that. They just, you know, they tried, but they understood, but apparently Diamond Gamers knew exactly where to put the pressure to make sure that, you know, all the res that you spent trying to cap, you know, to try and assist up to hydro was just going to go to waste. And, you know, just put enough stuff blinking in base again, just a couple skulks. They do only have, okay, they do have 2 IPs, so it's going to be really hard for them to be able to do much of anything. They got the phase gate down to half, but it looks like with all that, finally they cleared the Marines. There's now a whip there too. That probably might have had something to do with it. It looks like they are going to be able to finally take down that gate and maybe start recapping. Varg pops through with a shotgun, takes down one of the skulks, but they were able to kill him. So that's 1 shotgun down at the very least. I don't know whether there are any more up there as well, but they're going to try and regain this. But guess what? They got a gate up here in, what is that, northern biosphere that is kind of in the center of the map. Either way. Seeing the 3-man push moving back down here into southern biosphere, and they're just going to drop the gate again and just walk on in. I mean, this is the point in the game where, I mean, that they took down 1 spur in that push into the hive as well. I mean, there aren't any really great positions to hide stuff in there. You could sort of just hide it behind the hive and hope they, you know, shoot the hive instead. But just the hive itself is at 85%. They're at 85% only on 2 RTs with 7 res in the bank. Anything that commander does is keeping them from being able to have that backup plan of another hive unless they secretly dropped one and made it not appear on the little overlay in the corner, which of course isn't what happened. I mean, they're all setting up here. They know that they have to try and win some of these engagements, but obviously they just kind of destroyed Powder Monkey there. I mean, they're up to weapons 3. It's going to be almost impossible for these aliens to win this unless they get some really clever play, so maybe some really great bone walls. I mean, just something like that. I mean, they have metabolized, but they only have 2 spurs, so they aren't quite as zoom as the life forms might have otherwise been. Rich is still 2 res off of Onos. And they don't have charge for him yet either, which is probably almost absolutely necessary just because, well, they're so far behind, they need that ability to escape. You see that there's some blinking going on up here. Looks like they're going to lose the north gate up here, northern biosphere, but Zaki's running on in there. I mean, who cares if they lose that gate? As long as they're able to hold the one down in southern biosphere, it's not really a big deal. All they're doing is slaughtering skulks at this point, and each time they're able to, you know, let's just sort of poke around the corner here and try and kill that. Powder Monkey has to go out the vent and hide in the ceiling because there isn't really anything he can do against 3 Marines in there. Unfortunately, he swipes at the wrong Marine there. There was a Varg in the corner. He has no armor. He's just meted at this point. And if they don't weld, it'd make it a lot easier for him to just drop down and, kill it. I mean, really, this is a lot more fuss than was absolutely necessary, as Roic mentions in. Oh, there goes Powder Monkey. As Roic mentions in chat, you're at 6 RTs. You've been at 6 RTs. Yeah, you have a lot of the tech. It looks like we have the AA done as well. So, I mean, obviously, probably aiming for HMGs. But when you're this far ahead, either group everybody up and just walk into the hive with shotguns and kill it, or arc it if you don't think that you can take the fight. And if they're only pushing 3 of the 5 in there, then that's probably just the case. Drop another chair maybe down in surface access or something, and just walk everybody in there and kill the hive or arc it. I mean, this hive, you could park arcs like right here and shoot that way. I mean, it's a pretty easy hive to arc. So why not do it if you aren't winning these fights? But at this point, okay, they're gonna go for a backup chair there just in case. But with everything exploding the way it is right now, they're just gonna melt the hive. I mean, it's 20, 16, 9, 4. It's gone. There goes round 1. 2 diamond gamers. Alright. So let's get back into spec here. So that was a moment here, actually. Alright, so that was a really good example of why this hallway is just like a total jerk. I mean, you always expect to have Marines walking into naturals, you know, if you're thinking of the map like drawn, you know, like a giant circle, and you're over here and they're over here. I mean, you expect them to like walk around the outside of the map and make a crazy smiley face thing, based on my poor scribbles, but I mean, you expect that to happen. So that isn't really that big of a deal. The main thing is that this is the equivalent of, I guess, like walking into Oxy on Jambi and just like killing the cis chain or something like that. I can't really, I mean, but obviously it doesn't have an RT there. Instead, that would be like if the, you know, if it was Jambi and, you know, I don't know what that would be then. Like, this would be Oxy and that would be Coolant, except for, you know, obviously move the Oxy RT to Coolant for some bizarre reason. But that would kind of be it, I suppose. Actually, that would be pretty close. If the that would be the equivalent of like a pipe start, and that'd be Oxy, and that'd be Coolant, I think. Except for there's still an extra hallway, which you know, well, it doesn't quite work out. Never mind. But you know, it's a really important hallway, and you really have to make sure to not let the Marines sit in there and kill your cis chain. Obviously, if they get a north spawn up there in yeah, Hangar Bay, that place. If they get a north spawn, because this is the other alternate spawn, which for whatever reason it just doesn't seem to be wanting to give, either in pregame or in the actual game, you can deal with the fact that that allows you to keep your naturals so much easier. I mean, it's like, it's just right up here, right up here, it's just right over here. I mean, nice little lines that are very, very close, at least compared to having to go through this obnoxious hallway server bank where it's pretty windy and has the shooting gallery in the middle. I mean, yes, sure, Southern Biosphere, not too far away for the other natural for Command Hive, but there you go. Alright, so for a hangar base start though, however, though you get your naturals really easy, I mean, you also have the fact that you can get to Northern Biosphere as well, so even if they're, you know, hanging out in server bank and repeatedly harassing hydroponics, maybe you can get Northern Biospheres instead. But, you know, the part of the thing is that if you start up in Hangar Bay, it's then harder for you to get a second hive if you're trying to expand south and they're sitting in server bank. Because obviously there's that hallway in the way and they, you know, will wander through surface exits. So sure, you can maybe try for a sneaky hive if you try the, like, do not attack this RT ever. We're going to put a sneaky hive in there and shade it and blah, 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 etc. Gorge tunnel, whatever, to try and make it not be seen. But it's still kind of risky, and chances are somebody will wander through there for some bizarre reason to make that not work. Looks like they said that they were subbing somebody out there. Unlucky fuckers. Looks like Ungodly will be making an appearance now. Alright. So they have everybody in there, and we will be moving into round 2 reasonably soonish. Let's see, what was something else I was going to say about that. But yeah, I mean, it's either you really have to make sure to take your secure your naturals, or you're going to have issues with your second hive. So really, it is just a map that probably it needs people to play it a bit more to be able to try and figure out the right way to play this. But we're going to move into round 2 and actually get some more play on this map. So onward. And they're going to get the Hangar Bay hive. So no gorge for them. It looks like they're just going to get the heck out and go do whatever it is they feel like doing. Again, arm slab, so neither of these teams apparently too worried about base rushes or anything like that. I mean, it is, as I said, since it is a weirder map, at least, you know, compared to playing something that you played a zillion times, like, you know, Veil, which I believe is next, it'll be a lot harder. For getting like a really easy pick there on Ungodly, who was just like not paying attention to the fact there were a ton of skulks bouncing around in the general vicinity. So that first RT, very, very nice pick there from Diamond Gamers on being able to take out that RT before it was even built. Didn't have half a chance of even being, saved or recycled or anything. We got Powder Monkey and Billy Talent now moving into water and chasing off Tag Wolf, I think. Oh, but we're seeing the whole little group here. Tag Wolf kind of baiting them out, trying to see what's going on. But we're seeing the whole group just hiding on the wall. Oops, hiding on the wall, just waiting. And they're all gonna move in here. And 2 Skulks down, 2 Marines down. Not too bad. They're going to move right in and try and take down that RT. Some pretty nice heavy pressure there. Meanwhile, they're capping up here in Upper Rapids. So they'll end up with a net gain of 0 RTs in that. Tag Wolf waiting around the corner there. Oh, but I think he just flubbed it by getting caught on like a railing or something there. It looked like he just came to a sudden and complete stop there as a Skulk. So Powder Monkey got lucky because of geometry, I think. Var going to move in on 3 Marines, which is definitely a bad choice here. We have Boom. Oh no, we got some more backup here. We're going to move into the group, take down Ungodly. Both Skulks very chipped, and Pronos is just going to be able to clean that up. Tag Wolf coming around the corner now, right out of the spawn, and he's going to be able to clean up Pronos. They do have assisted. There's the RT, so they drop that. They'll get a Drifter heading on over there to build that up. They did go Crag Hive also, which is definitely a fine choice for this. I mean, then you don't have to worry, obviously, about not having the armor when it comes to fades and the like, or the regen, depending on what you prefer. Ungodly and Rich, able to actually defend this RT up here in Upper Rapids. And a group of 2 down here, Powder Monkey and Billy Talent, down in Surface Access. It looks like we're seeing some parasiting, or attempted parasiting through the glass window there, but obviously that doesn't work because, there's a window. That is one of the things here is there are quite a few places where there are a lot of windows and that sort of thing. Like there's some right here that aren't showing up. And elsewhere on the map, notably in hydroponics, where I always end up picking the wrong window to try and jump through. Meanwhile, up here at Upper Rapids, Lower Rapids, whatever Rapids, here comes the swarm. We got Boone as a gorge finally now. So not quite sure where he's going to be wandering off to. Do we see a tunnel somewhere? Tunnel? Anybody got a tunnel? But he's just scooting along as a little gorgie, and I'm assuming he's going to go try and build a quick hive here when that ends up getting set up. A little bit of pressure into base, just Varg and Friend, looks like it was Tag Wolf, trying to be obnoxious and keep the Marines from going anywhere interesting. We're just seeing Boone just cruising along here as a little gorge. He does have plenty of res, so it's like, he doesn't have the tunnel down, I don't think. But then we're seeing Powder Monkey and Billy Talents moving into control? Command! Yes, that room. Moving in there, they're going to desist that harvester. So if he was planning on just being a gorge to build the hive, well, not only are they a significant amount of res away, but, well, I mean, they don't have a tunnel up there either, so they can't just reinforce it. That would be a good, perhaps a good choice for them to make, just so they can skip the whole middle of the map. We could see Tag Wolf moving in with Zaki, Tag Wolf up as a lurk, and we'll have to see if they end up with a second lurk here at some point, but at this point, not quite now. Ungodly and Rich moving into observation. I mean, obviously that is the alien natural, so they're going to try and cut the sys chain there to try and add some more damage to the harvester over time, but since they haven't desysted the harvester itself, it'll be easy enough for them to resist that, especially if that gets cleared. Pronos and Powder Monkey moving, defending their natural here, but taking a quick look at the res graph, you can see it's sort of inverted of what happened last time. This time, aliens are having a much better chance of going through and actually keeping track of things. Meanwhile, oh, they actually are getting some pressure here on the base harvester, though. Okay, you do see the tunnels down there in the corner. And that's actually, yep, there's the other hive. So they were going for a reasonably fast second hive there, but Boone probably went gorge a little bit early on that. I mean, you can imagine how obnoxious that would have been if he ended up dying before they had the hive secured. So the tunnel's up, so they'll be able to move back and forth between those fairly easily, and they're going to get the shift there so he can build the RT. And Tag Wolf's there, just almost going down to about 1/3 health in that engagement. So not the greatest there. And that base harvester, they need to send Boone back when he's got a spare moment to go heal that up, because that's going to be silly if they're losing your base RT is always just I don't know. It's kind of annoying because you didn't stop them before they had a chance, or before they had. Oh gosh, how do I word? You didn't stop them, and they just walked right into your house basically and killed it. Varg all alone there. Powder Monkey and Pronos kind of right around in the actual room there. It looks like he's just using a vent to get around, which looks really weird from top down. But it looks like we're going to have both lurks coming in to perhaps go and try and support this and save Hydro. Obviously, with the cyst chain getting cut, I mean, there are a lot more cysts appearing in this room now to try and help that. It's going to be a little while longer before the hive is up. Not too much, though, because it's up to 98% grown, so that cyst chain will not matter here in a moment. Both lurks taking out Powder Monkey, and Zaki goes down. Tagwolf able to clear up Pronos, though. So perhaps a little bit too slow there with the lurks. They were just kind of cruising in, thinking that at least, you know, from top down, it looked like they were just kind of cruising on in there, trying to, you know, well, we got this fight kind of thing, instead of, you know, using the fact that there are these crazy agile flapping things that can do a lot of obnoxious damage. I mean, just trying to be very accurate with their bites maybe cost that lurk its life. So we got one fade up. And looks like, question is he going to move in on the two Marines there all by themselves? Just kind of waiting. And there really isn't that much that can be done there. I mean, they have this nice hallway to shoot down. So he needs some backup there. It looks like Zaki's going to come join him. Meanwhile, the Marines are also pushing down towards surface access, where the tunnel has been moved up to. So very nice gorge tunnel positioning there from Diamond Gamers at this point. And they did lose the RT here in observation, but that's no problem. That can just be resisted. And the Marines got cleared up, so, you know, no problem. There's the gorge tunnel, and Boone is kind of trapped on the wrong side of the hallway from this. I mean, he knows that Billy Talent and at least Powder Monkey's there, because Powder Monkey's obviously parasited. Looks like we're going to see a fade popping out of that tunnel here. Yep, there we go. At least at this point, I think we might see another life form or two appearing here momentarily. Are those Onai? Okay, we're seeing Varg up as a fade as well. Alright, so we're back to 2 lurks, 2 fades. Looks like Boone will be saving 4 Onos, but each time he moves that tunnel, remember that means that's, what, 3 res that he can't get back? At least, you know, instantaneously. So that further delays the Onos. So really, at this point, he's basically tied with, he's kind of tied with Tagwolf for who would end up being Onos. So as long as he doesn't end up dying, it looks like Tag might end up being the Onos first, and then Boone not too long after, and by then that'll probably be pretty much game. I mean, they're up to almost 6 RTs. They've just moving that gorge tunnel along definitely allows them to go through and just secure that part of the map. Look, oh, but we're gonna have Alert go down. Tagwolf goes down, but that's okay. He's up to 30. What is that? 30 res? Almost 30 res. Oh, I guess he got an upgrade. I knew he was at 30 res not too long ago. Kind of a sneaky phase gate going up here over in Northern Biosphere. However, now that they're started killing stuff, it's no longer sneaky. Boone in there with Bile Bomb, just working on that RT. He's all by himself now, though, so if Pronos and Powder Monkey run on in there, they could possibly get rid of that obnoxious gorge. He's going to retreat. Meanwhile, we're seeing people converging in here on the gate. Varg getting very low, and he may end up going... Nope, he's out around the corner, so he's not going to die this time. Alright, so they got the gate kind of secured now. But the question is, what did they do from there? I mean, the aliens don't really have to go through that hallway. They could just do whatever the heck they feel like it, because they got a tunnel going from their northernmost tech point to their southernmost tech point, and there are 2 Marines heading down in there. They aren't quite to the point where they'd be able to drop a 3rd hive and just call it good and just go be silly. These Powder Monkey and Pronos are down there just killing stuff. Zaki getting very low. Looks like he had to retreat out there across the bridge. And they found the tunnel, and the tunnel is down, so now that mobility is now gone. It looks like at this point we're going to see some... either they're going to the hive to heal, or they're going to go respawn. But it looks like we are going to see Tagwolf back up his lurk, and Heidi, however the heck that person's name is said. I'm assuming it's Heidi. I don't know. Moving in there, Pronos and Powder Monkey getting some good shots there on Tagwolf. Scaring off the fade for now. Here comes Zaki back, and possibly Boone as well. Yep, they're going to move in and try and save this RT. Meanwhile, we got 2 Marines walking into the hive, so let's skip over and see what's going on here. We got Billy Talent and Ungodly working on the shells. Or is that a crag there? It's like there's a crag by the shells, perhaps? Oh, that is a shell. Okay, it just looked weird. Alright, so Ungodly's gonna get cleaned up here, no problem, by Varg. So a little bit of pressure there initially. They probably should have just taken down that base RT to be really obnoxious, but looks like we got surface access pretty much locked down again. I lost 1 shotgun in that engagement, and the RT is... It's not desisted. It looks like it should maybe be, but I guess it's like barely on the edge. Meanwhile, all the life forms have now converged over here in Northern Biosphere, and they're going to take down that gate no problem. Looks like I think we might have... I mean, they have the armory block up there, I think, expecting an Onos, but people have, you know, re-lurked, re-stuffed. Boone is obviously back to being a skulk, so he can go bite res wherever the heck he feels like it. He's a little... They just ignored Rich. They just totally didn't see him, and there's going to be all the life forms moving on in to the Marines start here in asteroid tracking. They're going to go after Billy Talent. He's going to go down, losing that shotgun. Ungodly's going to be next. Boone is almost down, but he's a skulk, so who cares? That RT's at half health already, so Zacky's going to try and bite that. Powder Monkey's running in, and he may get a good couple shots here on Zacky because his back was to the door, and he gets out of there with basically no health. Rich, turn around. Turn around, Rich. Rich. So focused on getting that gate up, he lost his chance to pick off a lurk. That should have been totally a dead lurk right there. But now we got 2 fades in the base, and they're just going to GG at this point. Alright, so second round going to Diamond Gamers. And then I'm assuming that a lot of these guys might be a lot happier with the fact that we're going to be moving on to the second map, which I believe is Vale. Alright, so definitely, at least from the showing on this map, it definitely seemed like Diamond Gamers had more of a clue as far as how to play on this map. I mean, just falling into that pit of having to deal with that annoyance from server access? I'm already forgetting the names of the rooms because I'm apparently amazing at remembering this map. But that obnoxious hallway that I mentioned like a bazillion times, like you end up falling into that habit of you lose a game because of Marines in that room once, and then you figure out how to work around it. You don't let that happen again because that's just so immensely frustrating that it's not going to happen again. Nope, not going to happen unless, you know, maybe it'll happen 5 months on down the line when you forget about how annoying that hallway is. But hopefully that's enough of a, like, this was so obnoxious that I never want to deal with it again thing, that it just won't happen again. So we got, looks like, waiting for a couple more to connect here. We have most of the people on the server already, or, well, loaded in already. Nobody joining up yet. But obviously moving on to Vale. We'll have to see if this ends up showing, having like a different showing from the teams, just because this is a map that is so familiar to people. I mean, it's been around since, I think, day 1. So, I mean, knowing this map, I'm pretty sure that they know how to play on this one. There are no like shenanigans with, you know, an annoying hallway that you need to keep Marines out of, or else you're gonna end up, you know, wasting all your res trying to assist through it kind of thing. It's fail. You gotta win your first engagements, and if you win your first engagements, you're doing pretty dang good. You could still throw a game, of course, but you win those first engagements in East or West Junction, you're pretty much set to go. You could lose those engagements and then, you know, maybe lose Nano and still be able to come back and win a game. But, you know, it's just, I guess in a sense it really, both of these maps really do kind of end up, depending on the early game. Because obviously if you can't cap your natural on Kodiak, well, that's not going to bode too well for, you know, anyone. You're going to try and cap your naturals and end up just like on that second round there, just sort of bouncing back and forth, trying to cap both water and upper rapids, and not being able to hold both of them. Well, it's not setting you up for any amazing victories unless you're just able to totally waste the life forms. I mean, it gets a little bit iffy though. Iffy if you know, keep repeatedly almost killing the lurks. Because if you could take out the lurks before the fades show up, by all means, have fun, wrecking all the skulks. But I don't know. Well, it's at this point, I just might have to go back and see what other people have done on this map. As I said, I think that there were a couple games that were played on it today, but I'm not 100% sure because, again, I was stuck in class, so I couldn't watch any of them. Um, there's actually a knock at the door, so one moment, please. One moment. Alright, anyway. Alright, so apparently one of my neighbors locked themselves out of the complex or something. Whatever. So moving right along here. Looks like we finally got people on a team, so I didn't miss too terribly much. It doesn't look like any. Are we switching anyone out there on? Missing one on DMD. That'd be Tag Wolf, it looks like. So I don't know whether they're going to be swapping in a Merc or what. But we shall see. And what else was there to... I totally have lost my train of thought here since being interrupted. One of the hazards of that happening. So once I get their 6-player in here, whether it be Tag or somebody else, then I'm assuming we'll be getting going on this, and we'll have to see how they end up playing. I mean, this is a pretty standard map, so I don't think we'll probably see anything too crazy here unless they try for, like, a shotgun rush or something else like that, where, you just go and try and end the game promptly. But at this point, Diamond Gamers, they're sitting pretty at, 2 wins, so they don't really need to... If they keep playing as well as they were previously, it isn't going to be too much of a, like, crazy thing. They're just going to be able to go and just, like, play normally, win. Meanwhile, Lucky Fuckers needs to really make sure that they are playing smart. I mean, if this is partially a loss because of either better shooting or better planning on Diamond Gamers' part, which it kind of looks like it probably was, at least as far as planning goes, then they really need to play smart. They really need to go and make sure that they are taking the engagements to be able to win them. They need to make sure that they aren't just throwing life forms at things that aren't going to end up with the life form being dead. Just making sure the marine res is basically non-existent, and if they do end up weaseling their way into nano, give them nano, take everything else. Just it is a map that can at times be unforgiving, but on the other hand, if how to deal with the worst case scenario, you can probably do okay. And if you find those opportunities, the opportunities when you let all 4 Marines walk into nano and then you have all of your skulks run up to command. Control, sorry, I'm freaking scrambling these. Send all your skulks and stuff, maybe a Gorge too if you have one of them, lying around. Send all of them up to control and kill everything up there while they're stuck in nano with, no way to get back except for to run. And you can win the game. I remember that happening at least once or twice. I think twice at least last season. I mean, there isn't any way to... There haven't been any changes in comp mod that have, prevented that from happening, from that being a valid strategy. If you let them in there, go kill stuff. Alright, so... Alright, no, we don't have everybody in here. So Tag Wolf is being a slacker, or his computer is a potato, I don't know. Hopefully he will be in here soon, but it looks like rosters otherwise containing familiar people. And let's see what happens. I'm assuming that... Actually, I don't want to assume anything at this point. I mean, I I'll just be totally wrong when I make some silly guesses at that. We'll just see what happens. As it is, blah blah blah. Train of thought still gone. I wouldn't be surprised if Lucky Fuckers at this point is feeling enough like on the back foot to think that they should do something like try for a base rush, whether if the opportunity reveals itself, because I know we saw some base pressure, but it was pretty disorganized, for both these teams in the last map. But that partially is probably because, you don't know where the rooms are, you don't know where the hallways all connect, because unless they really have been practicing on it. For all I know, they could be practicing a freaking ton on Kodiak, and I could just be totally making things up here. But I'm going to go with the assumption that most players don't play on Kodiak, because I think that is pretty true for a majority of the NS2 competitive player population, just because it's like it's something new and different, and people don't like new and different. It could actually be a pretty good map. It does have its points where it's like, something nice, something cool happens, but like if you don't play it, it obviously is just going to be this, huge horrendous thing which nobody wants to deal with. But I wouldn't be surprised if they do understand, do know where the opportunities arise, whether it be because people are out of position, they're trying to walk in a nano, whatever. You see the base rushes. And this is a map that, definitely has those opportunities. Yeah, sure, you only have two, like, hallways to head down to get to the Marine start, but not too bad. I mean, you can always get around them via vents, especially if they're sitting directly in east and west. If they're just sitting right here, hey, there's a vent there. They're sitting right here, hey, there's a vent there. So, alright, so Tag is theoretically logging in here, or showing back up on the server. He's not showing he's connecting yet, but that could just be or the server being slow or something. But hopefully, we will be starting up here, and they can see what happens for the Marine round here on, what's it, Vale. My ability to talk today seems to be relatively non-existent, and I apologize for that. Take a look here and check the player list and see if he's showing up there yet. He really must have a slow computer. 'Cause yeah, he's not showing up on that yet either. Oh no. Anyway, as soon as we get him in, fingers crossed these guys are pretty much ready to go. No, we don't have anybody readied up yet. I mean, obviously, Diamond Gamers wouldn't be readied up yet because they're still waiting on Tag. But, I mean, technically, Lucky Fuckers could have readied up, way earlier and been all perfectly ready for the don't show up in 15 minutes and you get a forfeit loss thing. But I don't think it's been quite that long yet. Let's see. 07. It's been like, what? We'll say 10 minutes or so. Maybe not. I honestly don't know because I'm judging off of timestamps in chat, and I don't remember how long I was babbling incoherently before before the person randomly knocked on the door. Oh well. Where's Tag Wolf? That is the question of the moment. Where the heck is Tag Wolf? Still not showing up on the player list, so he must really have a... What? Alright, so he is theoretically on the way. Where is he? But I guess this is NS2. We can't have things starting totally promptly after every round because that would be logical and amazing, and thus it will not happen because people... It just doesn't happen between people and just luck and people's computers imploding. It's just not going to happen. Oh, let me take a look here while that is... Let me take a look, see what else is going to be going on over the next week. Next game will be on Tuesday. Doctors Without Gorges versus Power Up. Then we got some Div 1 games scattered throughout Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And hopefully those will be good games. I mean, I think those are some of the only remaining Div 1 games, so you know, they'll get to play on Kodiak. I forget who gets to play what map when, kind of thing, but I'm pretty sure that we're gonna see some Div 1 Kodiak going on. We might have seen some today already as well. All right, so it looks like Lucky Fuckers have readied up. Though it's not saying the forfeit thing, so I guess the NSL mod's in the wrong mode. Just Alt Tab again here real quick and check the thing for today, or the other stuff from this week. So yeah, there were three matches today that were also on Kodiak, but I think only 2 were casted. Yeah, I think Chewy got both of them. So if you guys were watching Chewy's stream today, you saw a lot of Kodiak, I would assume. So I hope that those were actually... Oh, we're finally seeing one connecting. Huzzah. But I hope that those matches went pretty well. I might go back and take a look and see if there were any particularly good ones. Though if there were any matches today that you thought were particularly awesome, let me know and I'll go look them up. Always good to see the really good matches. I mean, regardless of what division they are, regardless of what teams they're playing, if they were really good matches, then who cares? They're fun to watch. Tag is on the server, and for some reason he's green. What happened there? I don't know what happened there. He's green now. I mean, I'm guessing, I have no idea. I'm guessing some sort of tech issue that made him delete his settings or something. Whatever, hopefully. Alright, he is finally on the team. And green, still. So hopefully, okay, they are showing the 13 minutes to forfeit thing, so it's not in the wrong mode. It was just slow the first time I saw it. But hopefully now that we have everybody finally on the team, we can actually get this rolling here. And because that would be really nice. I mean, I know I'm getting hungry and it's getting, what time is it? 6? It's not getting too late on the East Coast. But definitely if there are any Europeans, it's really stupid hours in the morning there. Not that I really... do they have they might have a Euro on one of these teams too. There might be one on Diamond Gamers. Wow, he had to switch video cards. That's different. Having your video card die in the middle of a match, that's pretty great there. So, okay, now that he theoretically has this functioning, even if he's running at really stupidly low resolution now, yeah, I think that we may actually be able to... The UI is half of a screen. So Tag Wolf is playing at 800 by 600. That'll be fun. So hopefully now that we have everybody in here and that... Oh, yeah, he's commanding too. He's commanding on really stupidly low res, so that's gonna be problematic. Because of course, you know, you have all these like extra random things as a comm. It's pretty similar to the the spectate thing, or rather, the spectate thing is similar to the comm thing. Whatever. So that'll be fun for him. That may end up hindering him a little bit, but I know people do like playing on some of the lower resolutions just so that way, you know, get better FPS and stuff. But we'll see if that helps or hurts him at all. Because we're going to go right into round 3 here, finally on Vale, in 4 seconds. Alright, so obviously we're seeing a pipeline start down here for Lucky Fuckers. And Ungodly gets to be the Gorge, so that he gets to trundle his way on over to Pipeline. Meanwhile, we got a group of 4 actually moving out through here, through Topo. So whether they're just planning on, you know, having one guy build and just go, no, they're just going to say, they're saying, screw it, go to Nano. No, okay, never mind. They changed their mind. They're going to build stuff after all. For a moment, it looked pretty iffy, like they were just going to skip everything and just go to Nano. Rich goes into the vent by himself. Nox is obviously sitting right around the corner there. Now we got 2 in the vent. No parasites on any of those, so he just ran and got a face full of Marine and keeled over dead. So Zaki and Varg taking the early route to Nano. Ungodly caught out a little bit as a Gorge, but he's able to go hide in Dome. So 3 Marines just walking on into Nano. They poor Ungodly wasn't able to get over there in time. So now he's kind of like, what do I do kind of thing. Power's up. They're going to get an armory. Mines are already done. So they pretty much had this prepped. Whether, you know, I would assume because, well, they started mines already. And they're going to just put down as many mines as humanly possible, getting them in the vents. See Zacky's up there jumping around. So at this point, well, pull everybody to base. That is pretty much your only option there. And with Haiti, however the heck his name is said, is standing over there. Well, that's going to make it a lot harder to have the really quick push to base. Though, they really do just need to have everybody just back up. Though Boone is like basically in base. We got Nox guarding everything. What? So what happened there? Was Rich actually AFK and nobody noticed? I don't know. We're already almost 2 minutes in. At this point, it looks like everybody's just going to play it, because nobody's saying anything on the other team. I don't want to like be all like, yeah, do it. Or no, you can't, if the other team is going to contradict me. Ungodly's going to just end up losing his Gorgie here. I think it may be too late after all for calling not live. I can't remember if it's 1 minute or 2. But at this point, they're still just kind of cruising along playing. So I don't know. They should have called it way earlier. And at this point, I think it is way too late to be able to do that. I mean, they were at least a minute in before something happened there. And of course, remember, these teams do have access to pause, so if it was, you know, playing for a little bit and then get interrupted, pause. It is your friend. Especially since it works now, because I remember last season it was kind of screwball, I think. And at this point, it's just going to be a total face roll over here, because, well, Nano was lost, and oh, we're seeing them group up finally up here in Topo. So we're going to see that final base push, but at this point, Diamond Gamers has so much res that they could just drop another chair, no problem. 3 going into base. There are some mines up there. They don't have the phase gate up. And they're going to go right after the OBS and just melt it. OBS is gone. Onto the chair. They do have 2 Marines down there in base, but if they don't drop another chair, this is just going to be over and it won't really matter anyway. Boone's just waiting around going, hey, where's that? Oh, hey, look at that! Last minute kaboom, where Boone's mind takes out Ungodly. So despite the issues that happened at the beginning, well, I'm not sure whether that was Tag's UI having issues or what, because he should have seen that coming. He should... What a weird game! Exactly. So... How about that for, you know, a round? A 3-minute game? I do kind of wonder if that was partially Tag Wolf having issues. Oh, he couldn't use... Oh gosh, what a disaster. What a disaster round. Okay, so both teams were sufficiently nerfed. I think that... Yeah. Oh my goodness. So Tag couldn't use the UI button somehow. Map is overlapping his UI. Oh gosh. Alright, so generally a disaster. Couldn't click the OBS. Alright, let's see what they're saying here. Because that seems kind of weird. If the UI was overlapping each other, that doesn't seem right for the hotkeys to not be working. Anyway, looks like Lucky Fkers are ready to go. Except for at the moment it shows them on both teams. So let's see. That last round we have somebody who was interrupted mid-round or something and wanted to and then we had a comm who couldn't drop another chair because something glitched out with his UI. Yeah, I think that does qualify as what a weird game. Hopefully he's able to figure out what the heck the issue was. Because if that is a bug, obviously it should be reported. If it, was not a bug and just, fat fingering the wrong keys or something, then yeah. All right, they're just gonna get a merc, I think, for Tag Wolf. He's just gonna bail, and hopefully that was just, Tag's computer being stupid kind of thing. What can I say? So alright, so we got Tag is now gone after waiting forever for him to switch video cards. I'm hope that is kind of silly though that it died in the middle. That probably was one where it probably would have been better if they'd just gotten a merc. It would have been considerably less wait time, and alright, NS player would be Spartan, I think. I think he was on a team earlier in the season, but I don't remember what one now. I think it was probably, I think, Combo Breaker maybe? I'm not 100% sure. That would be another Div 3 team, so obviously they're not, going too crazy with that. Just need to wait for these last people to join up, and it'll be good to go. Alright, so hopefully this last round will be a lot more normal. So yeah, I think the part of the thing we have learned here is if your video card dies like between rounds or whatever, just get a merc to begin with. Because not only does it take forever for you to swap your video cards or whatever, but if you're playing an 800 by 600 and you aren't used to working with it, and something weird happens where you can't, you aren't 100% sure it'll work because of, well, you just switched video cards. Well, there you go. Alright, so looks like Nox will be calming for Diamond Gamers. We got Hackers calming on Lucky Fuckers. We're still waiting for... Wait, where'd he go? We had Spartan here a moment ago, and now reconnecting? I don't know. So we're just having all kinds of fun here. I guess Boone went AFK, I'm assuming, because he's still sitting in the ready room. So, welcome to NS2, land of shenanigans. But I was 100% sure that would have just been, okay, they're going to get the chair down, and then, they'll have to go kill Marines because they won't have any IPs. I mean, you saw Boone, was it Boone? Because I'm assuming, because somebody in chat mentioned it, was just like standing right down here waiting. And it just didn't happen because, well, whatever the heck glitched out. I mean, who knows? Alright, so we got Spartan back, but has high ping, so I'm assuming that means he's alt-tabbed. At least I would, certainly hope he's just alt-tabbed because, well, 300 ping almost. Not fun. And we will get going here as soon as they get everybody on the other team. And I'm really hoping this is going to be a much more normal match. I mean, at least both teams had something go horribly wrong. So it wasn't just like, oh, these guys got wrecked because, well, the guy got interrupted and didn't think to say, tell anyone, hey, pause a sec so I can deal with whatever, or, not realizing that somebody was AFK. Alright, I see people, let's see. Yeah, I know that reading chat here, somebody saying that they had that happen to them as a comm. I think I've only had that happen as a comm in like pregame, where like all my icons disappeared. But I think that was only as alien comm, not as marine comm. I mean, so if that's something, whether it be with resolution or system or something like that, I mean, you have stuff like that happen. It's definitely something that you should try and report on the forums or take a look and see if there is a thread, regarding it. So that way, if it is legitimately a bug with, say vanilla NS2, it gets reported and fixed. If it's a bug with NS2 Plus or with, whatever, and then hopefully those would get fixed as well. Okay, yeah. Okay, Heracles there with the knowledge bombs there. UI bugged and low res. Okay, that makes sense then. Hopefully they do understand how to approve mercs. One more. All right, so we got everybody in here finally at long last. Disaster averted. So onward to the final round of Lucky Fuckers versus Diamond Gamers. Hopefully disaster-free round of NS2 goodness, but we'll see what happens. Hey, look, same spawn. So this time Diamond Gamers gets to start down here in Pipeline. We're seeing a power build armory, so mines, so not too unsurprising there. We'll just have to see if they're using the or oh wow, they're not just doing mines, they're building an obs too. But they're gonna go for mines. No gorge as of yet for Diamond Gamers, so I mean it's sort of optional, but the fact they've sisted in there already pretty much means they're gonna run this without a gorge. They've done well enough that they should be able to hold it unless something crazy happens. Whoa, instant mines phase gates. That's a lot of early res there, a lot of P-res and T-res that'll definitely be problematic if they don't manage to hold on to these early RTs. Zaki and Boone going in on Rich. They do manage to take down Rich, and Billy Talent was gonna be next, but they were able to take out the remaining Skulk. Meanwhile, over here in East Junction, that engagement ended up going the way of the aliens, and they're gonna go into top them and be like, "Hey, wait, where's the RT? Okay, never mind." Obviously, with that much tech being researched at once, that means you can't just drop both of those RTs and call it good. Seeing even some mist in there in Nano to try and get those cysts maturing faster so that way they have that much more health. I mean, it's not hideously much, but it's enough. Spartan there all by himself versus 3 Marines that have, already set up camp kind of in system waypointing. They're going to build the power and I'd assume immediately get a phase gate set up. We're seeing 3 Skulks just set up outside of base. There's a bunch of mines in there, and we see Pronos building the phase gate there. Almost, I would assume almost built at this point. They're just waiting for the res. The one has been dropped down there in system, and that's getting swarmed. Everybody's way away. They're going to have the beacon net, so there goes the res that was going to be used. Hello, all the Marines. The gate does go up. It's at half health. Are they going to go after the power here in system and take that down? It's going to be enough of a run. That is definitely getting completely, totally wasted. And meanwhile, Diamond Gamers is able to expand. They only have 1 RT at this point that's completed, which would be the base one, but they have 3 others that are building. Alright, so one of the ones in Nano just got completed. Power's down in system, but that's not too crazy. Obviously, just socketing the power there in West, so they could just build that up, whatever, get a gate in that hallway. It's not too much farther away. It isn't quite as good of a position, because obviously you can't really block into sub-axis as well. It is sub-axis, right? Oh, sub-sector. Wrong sub. But anyways, they can't really block into sub-sector quite as well. Rich and Ungodly. They did get the gate up, though. The gate is now up, and the Ungodly manages to kill out the last Skulk, so that gate is good to go. Meanwhile, I mean, going and capping C12 will be absolutely no problem for Diamond Gamers at this point. I mean, it's just like kind of open and free. They're getting some more mines around. They really need to get more RTs, though. They're still sitting at 2. I mean, as you can see, there just hasn't been that 3rd RT. That beacon set them back. Obviously, that 10 res that could have been the top ORT. And it looks like 1 Skulk is up there right now, but we're seeing 3 swarming over towards Billy Talent here. Boone, Heidi, Spartan moving in. Chomp, chomp, he is gone. Rich better just stay back there with those mines, because those will be his friends while everybody else tries to cap stuff. And you can see that somebody just died over there in Topo. That looks like it was probably Stack Daddy. Not 100% sure though, because we're seeing the swarm move down into subsector here. Take out that RT, and they're just going to rotate up to, what's it? Overlook. And it looks like we're going to be seeing some more base pressure here. Alright, nope, just after the RT, just kidding. But just these poor RTs have just not been happening really for Lucky Fuckers at this point. They're just being totally outclassed by Diamond Gamers' play so far, except for that one round where there were issues. And we're just gonna leave it at there were issues. Alright, so power was socketed down here in cargo, and obviously they have to deal with, at this point, Billy Talent has to deal with Varg and Zaki, but they end up taking him out. So I'm assuming they would have been trying for a gate down there, which would definitely give them a nice forward position, but at this point, they're assisting already into Topo. I mean, just the fact they weren't able to get those gates up, or the gate up that was the initial one into system, it just set them back so far. The fact they had to beacon, I mean, they had, what, 3 or 4 Marines roaming around the map at that point, and then all the skulks just like, were like, hi, we're in your base now, we're gonna kill your phase gate, and do other such mean and nasty things. Zaki ends up going down to Ungodly, the gate's fine, they're out of mines there, though, and just look at the alien res, how much of the map has turned green down here in the corner. I mean, they have 5 RTs, and they're aliens. I mean, you don't want the aliens to have more RTs than you. Heck, you don't want them to have the same amount of RTs as you. Want them to have less. And there we got some lurks up. We got Boone and Spartan up as the lurks, and they're going to cruise right over. Nope, they're not going to go. All right, okay, they are going to go to C12. They're just gliding on in there, taking out Pronos. Stacked Eddie will be next, but it looks like at this point they're just going to back off and let Zaki try and take that down. So both the Marines that were in there trying to kill this C12 RT, they got cleared, no problem. It did mess up the sys chain a little bit, it looks like. Oh, maybe that's because there's Rich in the middle of Nano. He's going to desist it and then start working on the Crag. That Crag will keep things alive for quite a while, of course, but they're going to need to call somebody to deal with that. And it looks like they just cleared up cargo as well, because that's also blinking. Just stuff is blinking all over the map. And here comes the swarm of life forms. They end up clearing that up, and that'll be easy enough to resist, no problem. I mean, they have 72 res. Just drop hives, have fun. Biomass going. Resisting is happening. 2 Marines hanging out in West Junction, not quite sure what to do, because they are up to 3 OTs finally. But Varg is working on the power over there in Topo to try and just totally deny that. And both the lurks are taunting like crazy over here in Overlook. Just baiting Rich in all by himself. That's not a good engagement. Why are you going in there alone? Spartan gets just a single bite there, and they're like, hey, let's just go back to biting the RT. Here comes Boone right into that. More taunting is involved. What they need is a lurk trap, like right around the corner here on the lower part of the stairwell, and just bait one of those in. But both the lurks are kind of pinched a little bit. Boone's able to get out through the like loops in the top of the ceiling there. Zaki ends up going down. Oh, it gets taken out by Billy Talent. Billy Talent also took down Stacked Eddie as well. Spartan's still relatively hurt, but not too bad at this point. They're Lucky Fuckers is back down to 2 RTs, and just they can't really get off that gate there in West. I mean, that isn't really a gate that allows you to launch forward. It's a gate that allows you to try and hold stuff and to try and take Nano. But they don't have the res to arc. They just haven't been able to hold the right side of the map at all. Like, 0 chance of holding this map. I mean, they got the Crag through the wall now, too, so that RT, I think that, yeah, that RT is within range, so it's like, so much for that. Varg is hiding on the box while biting the gate. I mean, those 2 mines that are there, yeah, sure, they help a little bit, but apparently not enough, because Varg was able to get a fair amount of damage in that, and guess what? We got Zaki up as a fade already. I mean, just shy of 8 minutes in, and we got your fades up. That'd be Zaki and Heidi. Both up his fades. Here comes the lifeform swarm. Oh, Boone actually trips over a mine and dies. A very unglorious death for the poor lurk. Hackers jumps through. He might actually get Zaki. He just needs 1 more bullet on the fade. There's nobody there to kill him. Oh, that's really unfortunate. They could have had a lurk and a fade from that. Stacked Eddie now working on the poor power here in Topo. But just yeah, sure, they had a position to try and, like, fall back on over there in West. But just, like, they could not move forward for the life of them. See, Pronos there in the vent, and Stacked Eddie just gets completely obliterated before he can even finish the power. Both lurks going into base. See Boone turn back into a lurk. And Pronos dances with fades and ends up dying. Lurks are in there, blowing at mines. Hacker's out of the chair. I mean, he can't really do too much. I mean, he probably should beacon so that everybody could be alive. He's gonna get back in the chair magically. Oh, no, he didn't make it back in the chair, so they can't even beacon. So this is gonna be it, because this is one of those you have enough res to beacon. You might as well stay in that stupid chair and just hope that everybody can show back up. Because at this point, no, I don't even know what they're doing. Because we've got Billy Talent just kind of YOLOing towards cargo. Meanwhile, we got all these aliens just chilling out in base, biting everything. I mean, it's pretty much GG at this point, just because I don't know what these guys who aren't in base are doing. I mean, whatever chances that they had of, killing stuff have gone away. You have 3 Marines. We got Rich, Ungodly, and Billy Talon just saying, like, screw control. We don't like that place. We're gonna go kill this hive and get the moral victory. Okay, took out Varg. But this hive is at 96%. Control's at 21. What have we got up there? We got a couple lurks and a fade just killing the chair. And Diamond Gamers ends up taking this 3 to 1. I think that part of that was hackers really should have just, stayed in the chair. He had enough money to beacon. He might as well just beaconed everyone, because after that, I don't know what they were doing. They weren't running back to try and save it. They obviously couldn't drop another chair. They were just like, hey, there's a freaking hive there, so let's just go and try and get the moral victory hive, and it just wasn't going to work, because that hive was way too built up. So that'll be it for this match tonight. So thank you for watching on that, even if it was kind of odd. At least especially that third round. So I think that's it for the NS2 for the night, as far as this all goes. Hit the right buttons to bring up the overlay. Taking a look at the lovely schedule. Next match is Tuesday. That'll be Doctors Without Gorges versus Power Up. No idea who's casting it yet, but I'm assuming somebody will. Wednesday will be Div 1. That'll be Narcolepsy versus Overextension. That'll be casted on GG Haven, which would be Schwa. Thursday will be another Div 1. That'd be Narcolepsy Light versus Yggdrasil. I don't think that has a caster yet, because that was just confirmed like a little bit ago. Where is it? I don't know which week that is. Yeah, it doesn't have a caster yet. I might end up signing up for that one. We'll see. And Friday will be Overextension versus Singularity. That I'm going to be casting that one. Of course, and then we have one match signed up for Sunday, but that's like a million miles away. So, of course, log into ensl.org, and all of these matches are listed quite on the side. If you're actually logged in, it'll show it in your correct time zone, so you don't have to do time zone math, which is always amazing. And hopefully there'll be some more matches signed up, in the next few days, so we can see if there are any more going to be happening during the actual work week. And of course, I'm assuming there are going to be quite a few on Sunday, because that's when all the matches always happen. So we'll just see see how that goes. And yeah, I think that'll be it. So once again, thank you very much for watching. I will see you whenever I see you, and go have some fun, either watching or playing some more NS2.